I have like 3 weeks of blue balls.
Like collectively over your life, or like 3 weeks coming up, or the past 3 weeks?
The past 3 weeks, because you haven't been here and we haven't sat in a circle. What are we about to do?
Are you blaming your blue balls on me?
Yes.
No,
100%.
I don't do that for you. I encourage you to do it.
I need a boost.
Okay, well, so
he needs eye contact.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't kink shame me now.
No, I don't. I'm just trying to understand.
I get it, dude. But what are we about to do?
We're about to masturbate.
That's right. It's time for the Freedom Friends Master Debate, our favorite time of the week, solving the world's problems one mediocre bullshit topic at a time. Before we get started, can I just say how proud I am of Somalia?
Sure.
There was recently. Yeah, I know it's a weird way to start it. I know, but recently,
are you talking about like Minnesota or actually Somalia?
Actually, Somalia.
Okay,
no, not Minnesota, Somalia. Actually,
that
Somalia.
was the mascot for the Florida State.
That's the.
It is.
That's the Seminoles.
The Florida's.
That's the Seminole vesicles.
I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
No, I'm proud of Somalia because there was two gentlemen who raped a 14-year-old girl, and then they were like, "Hey,
Don't get to use gentlemen."
Oh, just wait." The consensus was the girl's father got to choose the fucking punishment. And
can he dish out the punishment?
That.
And he did get to dish out the punishment publicly in front of God and country to set the fucking example. And I'm like,
what did he do?
Yes.
What did he choose?
What would you choose?
Did he beat them to death, shoot them?
I'm going to kill you
like
with a blade of grass.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you don't get to call the rapist gentleman.
That's true.
Yeah. So what did he?
Somalia, I gotta find it again.
This
Hang
is
on.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. I am totally.
I mean, did you like cover them in sterno fluid and like wrap a tire around their midsection and set them on fire and chase them down the street?
Or just roll.
No, that's just a regular day in Somalia.
Yeah.
It's I want to say it was firing squad.
Fuck that.
It was public firing squad, but Dad got to pull the trigger.
Only kneecap shot.
And then Dad got to confirm and finish it off.
Oh, yes.
See, I did on gut shot, and then they just had to
let him bleed out
and just stay there for the next couple days.
for days.
I'd have been like-
100%. You're dying of sepsis.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I would have shot.
What
him in the
hand did you
genitals.
touch her with first? Oh, that one?
No, right,
Yep.
in the,
Okay.
right in the dick.
I don't like your kneecap either.
Balls are gone first.
Yeah.
Balls are gone first, but
No.
they'll bleed out too fast.
Those are going to be personal.
what I'm saying.
I'm doing that with a knife.
Gut shot.
I want to look into your eyes while I cut your balls off.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I'm breaking both legs, both arms.
Bring back stocks.
Yeah,
Just put them in the stocks. Gut shot, and just leave them there for a couple days.
yeah, like that.
Let them bleed out the long way.
Like, I'm so proud of him.
Oh,
for
me
this,
too.
though.
That is great. No,
yeah.
you're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
I am proud of Somalia.
I'm proud of Somalia for this.
Yeah.
Like, we need this kind of judgment here in America. Guys, it wouldn't be the Freedom Friends if we didn't talk about our number one sponsor, Warfighter Tobacco. Obviously, you guys have seen us all smoke them. We're here to talk about a quality product that everybody can enjoy. The great equalizer, as we've called it, the Warfighter Tobacco Stick. And it's not just cigars. They've got humidors, travel humidors, cutters, lighters, everything you need to get started on that journey. So check out warfightertobacco.com and use that code FTFO. Score yourself that sweet, sweet 15%. If you want to know my personal favorite, I'm a 762 Field guy. I like that Sumatra, real nice and even keeled cigar. Great for us beginner smokers, right? And I'm told that these taste even better when you're listening to the Freedom Friends podcast. Now, back to the show. This episode is brought to you by Grill Your Ass Off. It's no secret, we're all middle-aged dudes who love barbecue. Grill Your Ass Off is our main go-to for our spices. That's what we use, man. Whether you're doing burgers on the grill, steaks, or my personal favorite, a little bit of pork belly burn ends, right? They've got you covered on all of that. They also have salsas. They also have seasonings and spices. They got beer salts. They've got everything, man. Check them out. GrillYourAssOff.com/Freedom Friends Podcast, or use the code Freedom Friends Podcast at checkout. So anyways, Justin, what you got for us?
All right, boys.
All right, boys. Sorry, I wanted to get that off my chest. We were too busy talking about Nicaragua in the last podcast.
Nicaragua.
Yeah.
What I said, Nicaragua.
Yeah.
It's close, but it's not. It's
That's
not
questionable. Anyways, let's move on.
gotta say that word slow.
Nicaragua.
Yep, there's an A there. All right,
Soft
boys.
A. Not the hard A.
Definitely not an E.
I want to know, what old people shit do y'all do?
Fucking
I take an old people shit every day at least.
everything, dude.
What? I don't know, Justin. What old people shit do I do? You just spent a week with me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're the fucking.
Oh, I got John's.
You're the producer.
I got
of-
John's. I
you're
got
the
John's.
producer
I got
of-
John's. I got
What do
John's.
you
The
got?
host of 4 middle-aged dudes that drink
John
whiskey.
travels with medical equipment.
I do.
That is nice.
I do. I do.
Yeah,
I don't leave home without it.
that's a pretty good. That is an old man shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep heartburn meds.
Now the
I mean,
worst part is I've been doing that since my 30s.
That was somebody's at my house the other day. I was like, hey, do you have Advil? And I was like, maybe, hold on. So I like went in my pantry, went in my side drawer, like next to my bed, like went in the bathroom, and all I found was 4 different antacid medications. And I was like, no. But if you got a little bit of heartburn,
I got you covered.
Got you covered, dog.
Now that's an old person thing that I do. Like I have a little Advil bottle that I have that has like probably 6 or 7 different like I have heartburn meds, I have Advil, I have Tylenol, I have cold meds. Like I have just random shit in those bottles when I travel, depending like
The amount of times that this little keychain, which traditionally is used for cocaine,
That's a lot of cocaine.
actually I thought it was used for nitroglycerin for heart attack people, right?
I use this for Motrin and heartburn meds, which is empty because I used them last night. So
the amount of Motrin I've taken out of that little pill.
Right.
It's been
Like
Yeah.
if somebody asked me
because I
for
usually keep
Advil-
800s in this bitch.
if somebody asked me for Advil, I ask them what kind. Because I have tablets, I have gels, I have 600s, I have 800s. Like what do you, I
Advil
feel like-
migraine, Advil.
I know. Like I feel like I'm like Joe Dirt at the fireworks stand.
Believe it or not, I was thinking about this morning, and the idea of like getting older and how you mature and shit like that. And I was like, so when I was younger, I had so much furniture that was like, oh, it's got a glass top, or it's made out of steel, or it's whatever. Now I'm getting older, and more I can swap out for like real hardwoods and
Right.
shit. I'm like,
Yeah, dude.
But you're fucking up, sir. You're fucking up. The reason I didn't have real hardwoods is because my kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Buy cheap shit.
yeah. Now you got to
'Cause
reverse this.
They're gonna fuck.
They're
it
gonna
up.
fuck it up.
They're gonna fuck it up.
They're
Like,
gonna fuck it up.
all those nice couches and shit. Kiss them bitches goodbye.
I got
bro.
like
those are gonna get ruined.
I have 2 years, and then I can buy nice furniture.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my couch that I have right now, which is a wonderful couch. I love it. It's very
Right.
deep. It's a fucking huge wraparound. It's very nice. I bought that bitch used.
Yeah.
I'm not paying full price for something that I know they're gonna fuck up. I have 2 teenage boys. They're jumping on fucking furniture like animals, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck that, dude. Like, yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Sorry.
For sure.
Sorry, but
And you have nice shit.
yes, I do.
And it's
Had.
all getting fucked up.
had.
You
Yeah,
had.
but I come from a very uppity family.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put everything up now.
No, you don't.
You're gonna have to have everything this high or higher.
You and your grandma. That's the only uppity people. Like, your grandma's uppity shit because she's loaded and she's a debutante. She's very classy.
She actually had a debutante party.
Yeah, she's very classy.
Yeah, she
like when I
actually-
met her, I was like, "Ooh, this bitch classy."
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn."
So we'll figure it out because it's, I mean, like,
Well, you know what? It's just an opportunity to buy new shit.
well, like I was just given, I didn't know they existed. I was just given a Spanish gambling chair.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's
Oh, you're
What
not
do you
familiar with
gamble when
Spanish
you're in the
gambling?
Spanish-
so I didn't know what the fuck it was. And
Imagine
my
horse betting.
my grandmother gave it to me. No, it's actually designed. You sit on it. You sit on it like you're the fawn. So you sit in it backwards. What looks backwards.
Like an AC Slater.
So you exactly. So you sit on it that way, but the back is actually trimmer and the cushion comes around. So you sit on it. But then what looks like the back has about a 4-inch rail on an arc in front of you, and you rest your arms on it. It's a Spanish gambling chair,
Get the fuck
except for
outta
mine's
here.
not padded.
Wow.
This one is slightly different. So mine, it's all in the back, but you sit with your forearms on the rail, and then on the plate in front of you is where your cards and chips can sit.
Is your chest on the back?
Huh.
Yes, the chest is on the back. So
Okay.
this one is different.
Yeah.
This is a modern interpretation with whatever the fuck that man's
Wow.
doing.
What the f-
Bro.
I don't like that guy.
Gate up that chair.
Yeah, dude.
So
Definitely not
show
what
me
a
some
chair is
images
used
and I'll
for.
see if I can.
Made it worthless.
Nope,
Ju-
none of these. And it's a true antique.
That's cool though.
Put,
And,
put antique in front of that search.
And
Yeah, that's good.
it's super, super fucking dope. And apparently there was a set of them
I was waiting for it.
God damn, dude.
When you paused that cue, I was like, oh, here it comes.
Justin, every word with a Q in it has a U after it, all right? Q always is followed by U.
I
Holy
wish
fuck.
that was true.
None of these are right either. I'll send you guys a picture of it, but it's super dope. And but you sit on it, and the seat's all leather,
Yeah.
but it's got this rail that you sit. So you sit on it backwards, and the back of it's in front of you. But the rail is like 4 or 5 inches deep, and so it curves all the way around, so you can
Is it
put your arms
comfortable?
on it. Yeah, it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
But then there's this plate in front of you, and that's where your chips and everything goes, so
That's
they
cool.
stay with you.
I would say that is an old man habit of yours. You collect
Weird shit.
weird, but
Very useful.
weirdly eclectic like things, right? Like you have smoking jackets from the fucking 15th century and shit like that. I mean, you have like just the most random shit imaginable. And I know this because you've shamed me for not being up to date with Victorian fashion. And so that's how I know. I didn't know how to properly tie a sash.
I actually just picked up a new jacket that is from a Rus burial ground, and it's calf length, and it's all brocade on the outside with a satin liner, and it's got a virgin wool collar and shit on it with matching buckles and shit like that. But it's gorgeous, but it's
Yeah, but these are things. This is an old man trait that you have.
Yeah.
like you collect.
because I said fuck World War II and just went
Yeah.
roll that bitch back a bit further.
Let's roll it back a couple hundred years. Fuck them.
Yeah, it's cool shit, man. For
Yeah.
me though, we just don't make shit like that anymore. Like
Yeah.
everything now, like everything you guys just said, everything we fucking have now, it's all consumable.
Yeah,
Like this. So this chair that
it's
I
not
have,
made to be. It's not made to be kept anymore.
this chair that I have, my grandparents got in Europe when they were there,
Okay.
liked it, and they bought it when they were stationed there in Italy,
Yeah.
and because they had a 4-year duty station in Vicenza. Sure, that was rough.
Yeah, it was a hard 4
And,
years.
An army duty station in Vicenza,
Yeah. Now
which
it-
is the
now
home
it
of the
really
Sky
sucks.
Troopers.
Now it
it
really
sucks,
sucks because
but
they're put on lockdown nonstop.
Yeah. but in the early 70s,
Oh yeah.
I bet you it was fucking awesome. They got it there and brought it back, and it was in my grandmother's house. And as she has started to pare down,
Right.
because she's 86 now,
Wow.
as she started to pare down,
She's
there are
86.
yeah, she looks great.
She looks wonderful.
Still drives her
Still
vet.
drives her
every day.
vet. Yeah, dude. What a gangster. Fucking
Well,
nice.
she's actually in Asia right now on a 4.5 week cruise.
What a
Doing a
thug.
4.5 week cruise in Asia. I'm supposed to be with her, but I have a prego, and it was a $19,000 vacation. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yee.
I'm gonna start a college fund instead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot that we were supposed to do that was like,
Oh, well, get used to that.
yeah. Well, like we already have a couple trips planned for,
Like, just wait till she or he crayons all over your new chair.
and well,
Oh.
we'll see. And fear is a hell of a motivator.
You're fine until you have 2.
I'm not having to.
Then you might.
I already have my
you might
surgery.
be okay.
I already have my surgery scheduled.
you might be okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you could do that now.
Yeah.
Like,
Is it the same day?
oh, that'd be
You get a
funny.
vasectomy the same day she
It's the
has the
same
baby?
hospital. Yeah.
That'd be
Like,
funny,
hey, Mom,
dude.
The kid pops out. You're like, okay,
Like,
I'm out. And you walk down the hall.
The
way-
have a picture of your fucking wristbands
Look,
together.
here was my math on it. There's no way she wants to throw down for the couple of weeks following that fucking baby. So
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's 6 weeks anyways.
That's
right?
good time.
there's no way she wants to throw down
that's good
anyways,
timing.
and you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to have 50 to 100 shots in the bank before it like finally kicks in
20.
or whatever.
20.
And I was like, well, that's like 4 days worth of work.
Hey, you know,
Oh, challenge it. I challenge it.
In this
I got it done in
specific
3 days.
situation, I don't believe Jazz is a gambling man.
I'm not. Well, this one wasn't a gamble. This wasn't like happy accident. Like we.
No, but if you take Mikey's advice and you only, let 20 shots out and then you're like, I'm fine.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to do 20 shots and then bring the 20th one back to him to check it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I decided we'll go with me. That and my wife's in her like fucking early 30s.
Yeah.
Like having all of her shit done and then she's on fucking hormone therapy for the rest of her life.
Yeah,
and
fuck
shit.
all
That's
that.
fucked up. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
And plus, I'm living proof. Tubes tying doesn't fucking happen. Doesn't work all the time. Because I reconned right fucking through that shit.
Yeah. So
I think, the technology then versus now.
That's probably true. That's probably true. I think that's why my dad left. Can you imagine though? Like in my older years,
Because he found out he was super sperm and
Well-
just wanted to go spread that shit around.
well,
He's like, oh my God, I do this everywhere.
well, think about it, dude.
No,
like,
no, I've told my wife this.
well, like if
There's
like
only
you're
room in the house for so many.
well, like
I'm next to leave.
if you marry a girl, you marry a woman, and she's like, I can't have kids. I've been tied. Da 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 da. Fucking A, dude. That's a fucking lift off your shoulders. I'm too old to have kids. Da da da. 2 years later, just kidding. Hi, I'm here, and it's like, what the fuck? I didn't want that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying I agree with him for abandoning me,
so
but
it was your fault.
probably. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. He's dead now. Fuck that guy. All right, fucking karma got him, dude. He died when I was 11. Fucking, you know, like, but for years I resented him, and now that I'm like at my age now, I'm like, all right, I see your point of view. I don't agree with it, but I see your point of view. All right, like, you know, like it's like, all right, you kind of got fucking bamboozled.
Yeah.
I'll give you that much grace, right? Like,
So we're talking about old man traits,
Yeah.
right? Things you like, old man things that you do. So I'm finding that there's an old man thing that I'm starting to enjoy to do, and it's
This explains the Werther's originals in your center console.
no, I've been doing that for a while though.
I do like some Werther's. That is old man.
No, so over the years, I've had some conversations with Justin, and I realized that there's an age gap, right? And so the original conversation that I'll reference with this was we were talking about fantasy football, and I was talking about the first time I ever did fantasy football, and it was like 05.
Oh, so
And-
you went to a room.
No, we went to a bar.
Yeah, but you were at a
And-
place and you sat down with a board.
We did, and everybody had books with the players in it,
Yep.
and you picked your teams that way, and then you uploaded them to a website, and then that would track everything. So you had to log on to the website to figure out who won the games, and so that was really fun because he didn't understand any of that.
I felt like such an asshole because we were having a meeting or something, and I was checking my fantasy football, and John was like, "I first did my fantasy football league in 2005," and I was like, "How'd you do that?" And I was just like, "I didn't mean how that came out."
I'm like, we still had the fucking internet, bro.
we had a chalkboard.
John's like,
Back in my day.
So we're down in Nicaragua, and we were talking about something about cell phones, and Justin's like, he's like, I didn't get a cell phone until I was like 16. I'm like, yeah, me too. And he's like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, because that's when they came out.
Yeah.
you must have had money.
That's right. Well, I only had it for 2 months, and I couldn't pay the monthly bill. So then it's
Like, raise your hand in this room if you had a pager.
oh yeah.
I never had a pager.
You never had a pager?
Raise
Dude,
your hand in the
I had
room
a
if
cell
you remember the pager kiosks. You could change out the body on your page,
Yep. Get the different colors and shit.
and then you could get the little pager chain.
My first pager was just a speaker box that was a fucking messaging service. And my mom, it was the most embarrassing shit ever because you'd be hanging out with your boys thinking you're hard because you got a pager. It's this fucking big. It's this big. And it's on the side of my, and I remember it was some fucking weird, like, mom and pop shop that ran it. I had to like prepay for the month or something. And it was literally a messaging service. She would call a number and go, Mike, dinner's ready. Come home. and all of a sudden it would go beep, 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 beep. And then it would play her message on my hip. And it was just annoying. And my friends would be like, so she could embarrass the ever living fuck out of me anywhere. Cause
I like
it was
how we all
that's
had
terrible.
pagers, and I'm just gonna go because I'm fucking in my 40s now, and I can just admit this. Well, nobody paged us. We used it to check the time, but we made it act like we were getting paid.
I had like
like
three
you pull it out
people.
and go.
I had like 3 people that would
Right.
page me.
You were looking at what
There
time
was
it
a lot of that. There
Yeah.
was a lot of
Yeah.
that. It was a different watch.
I remember I think my
All it
first
was.
pager, I had to go to the pager store and pay my monthly fee.
All
And it was-
$19.
No, it was like $4.99. And I remember because I was like 14 or 15, and I'd have to like come up with some reason and get on my pedal bike and pedal like 8
Just
miles
$5.
to this store and to give them like my singles and change that I collected because I didn't have a fucking job. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And just so I could pay this, so that way those 3 people
Like
like
went through the couch cushions like
Right.
5 times to make
So I think I got my first one when I was like 12 or 13, and
but I had a
but we were living, and I would take the city bus, and because I've been a lifelong nerd, so I would take the bus to go to like game stores and bookstores and shit to play games. Well, my mother at the time was a waitress, and so I had a pager,
yeah.
and it was literally just she would give me $5 a month out of her tips
Right.
to pay for my pager. Now, anything I wanted to fuck with my pager, like to change out
That's
the
on
body to make it this color, whatever.
That's on
that
you.
That was on me.
She's only paying for the black fucking base model.
Yep.
Right. So if I wanted to unscrew it and do the clip-on case and get the little holster for it that slid it in and out so you didn't have to clip it all the time and all
Yep.
that was on me.
Yeah.
But
What happened to all our pagers? Like, what happened to
Israel used them.
they all went boom. You know,
for a great cause, man.
my four
They only made one batch of pagers.
my $4 pager has taken out more U.S. military equipment than
So I got my first cell phone when I was a senior in high school,
Yeah.
and nobody had cell phones.
Yeah.
But I had a good job, and I paid for my own fucking cell phone.
Yeah. Same.
And I was in study hall one day, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I called the office, and I said, hey, Scott Jansen's got an emergency. He needs to come home right away. She walked down and said, Scott, I need to talk to you. She's like, you have a family emergency. You need to go home. I'm like, okay. You know what it's about? She's like, nope. So I left.
That's fucking
Gangster.
piss. That's,
And then-
that's a fucking G
Yes,
move.
I excused myself, and my friends all knew I did it.
Yeah.
Right? Because they heard me on the fucking phone. And so I fucking skipped out in school. And then I remember like my class reunion, that teacher that was, well, she wasn't a teacher. She worked in the principal's
Yeah.
office, right? The receptionist. And I'm like, I told her that story, and she's like, you fucker.
I didn't have a cell phone in high school. Yep, there it is.
I didn't have that one. Here,
And,
go, just yeah.
I
go-
had that one. I had
had that
was
one.
my
I had,
first.
Everybody
I
had
had,
that
I had that one.
Yep.
I had a number of them. I
Nope.
didn't have that one. Look up
The best one I ever
the
had.
Motorola pagers were the best.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that was the one you could. That other one right
You
before.
could change your body.
that
to
was the
different
one you could
colors.
change the colors
Yep.
on. Yeah.
The best
had
one I
that.
ever had was that one where the screen was on the front and the clip stayed on your pocket. And
Yep.
you
and it just slid
unsocketed
out.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And that was
Oh, you're getting too fancy.
Yeah.
That's past
Oh, that's
us.
SkyTel. That's fucking.
That's way up there.
There you go.
Oh,
I had
those.
that.
Yep.
Yep, I had one of those for a while.
God.
Dude, I had like I probably had 6 different pagers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't have one.
Because they would fucking break.
Constantly.
Fucking, it was
And
a
I think-
consumable.
And if I remember right, like,
Like,
the pagers only cost like $15 or $20.
It was the service that got you.
But even that, there
Fucking
wasn't
crazy.
that much. It was.
There was
it
also
just
back
funny.
then, it wasn't like now where there's like 3 cell phone providers. There was a bajillion of them
Yeah.
that would service this thing. And so if your pager ever broke or you couldn't pay the bill on the one,
You just went to a different service.
you just went to a different
Yep.
service. And if you started with them, they'd give you your new pager for free.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that was always the promotion was you got a free pager.
Yep.
So you just jump and be like, well, fuck, I got 3 months out of you before you turn it off.
This is my new pager code. Let me send it out to all my buddies.
Yep.
Write it in their book.
Yeah, all the little codes.
Yep.
Hilarious.
I'm learning so much right now.
How is 911 not up there? Oh yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
it is. Although your buddies,
It's not
your
emergency
buddies would
support, it's
abuse
fucking
that.
Call
though.
me now.
Your buddies would abuse
Yep.
that though. You would get 911 pages all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You'd be like, fuck
It's
you,
important.
man.
Hey, man, I need a ride.
Yeah, fuck off, dude. Like, yeah. Hey, what are you doing?
I didn't have a
You
cell
said it
phone
was
in high
important,
school,
man.
but
Like,
my dad we'd got stationed in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And my dad was the company commander for the ROTC division at
Okay.
fucking University of Pittsburgh. That was the duty station he got. I was like, who did you piss off?
fucking Kush though.
Except for it was Pittsburgh. It's not
Well,
like we
that-
got it at the University of Miami.
Yeah,
Like we
that's
got it in fucking Pittsburgh. Like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh stopped in 1987. They
Admit-
got to 87 and went,
We're
good
good.
enough.
We're good.
going to
No,
stay
no,
right here.
Like,
Yep.
Like if you want an IROC,
I'm okay with that.
Go to
That's
Pittsburgh.
what I mean. Like, I'm okay
come.
with them stopping in the 80s. Like, they could have picked worse
it
times to
was
stop.
rowdy. So the only time I ever had access to a cell phone
Like
was
2024.
Ah,
parties would happen and I'd go to the party, or when I got my first real job and I was like closing it down on the weekend, he would give me, but he had to have a cell phone to be contacted for. And that's the only reason that there was a cell phone in the house at all was
I was the first one in the family to have a cell phone.
I remember
because I had a job. And
my mom
I
had
wanted
a
one.
car phone. Do you remember those? They were in like a little
Yeah.
briefcase bag.
Yep.
And it was literally like a corded phone that you put the antenna on the roof and you had to plug it into the cigarette lighter.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had
It was like $1 a minute.
Nebraska Cornhuskers Motorola with the little flip and the antenna.
now I was dating a chick
I
in
miss
high
flip
school.
phones
Mine was just a
because
black
you
one.
could legitimately hang up on someone.
Yeah.
Okay, now they can't hear how hard you hit the button.
Yeah, right. It's like, fuck you.
I was dating a chick in high school whose dad was a lawyer for Bayer Pharmaceuticals.
Mm.
So they all had cell phones and they had whatever, like the newest high speed
Mm.
fancy one. And she always had like the nicest flip phone
What
and
year,
shit like that.
what year did you graduate?
02.
02?
Yeah.
They started getting decent, like texting was a thing by 02, right?
Oh, it was great, dude. I was getting laid, and I just used your cell phone for everything.
Sweet. Now, my first cell phone was a
now,
Motorola,
back-
and it
back
had
then,
the
though,
little
you-
thin thing.
You had to
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
per
That's what I
text
had.
message.
Yeah, it just covered the fucking.
Yep.
It covered the fucking numbers. Is all it
Or-
did.
yeah.
That's what I. And it's a brick, and it had
Yeah.
a fucking battery on it. You can knock somebody out with.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the batteries.
I do miss pulling the
detached.
antenna
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You'd get a call, and you'd
Yep.
Yep.
bite the antenna and pull it out, then flip it open.
So like, oh yeah, dude, it was a pussy getting move if you had one of those. Yeah, especially in the late '90s. If you had a cell phone,
My senior year, I had a cell phone. I had a 79 Trans Am.
By the way,
I
if
had
you were
a
asking about
and a
old man shit
motorcycle
that we do, it's
and a new
it's
S10.
talking about the shit that was cooler when we were
Yeah.
young than it is now.
This back in my day conversation we're having
Yeah.
right now is one of the old guy shit that we do for sure. Yeah, dude. It's weird though, man. Like we're of the generation that I feel like we're very, very fortunate because we lived two different.
I knew life
Fucking
before
lives.
technology.
I like
Yeah.
so they tried
I'm
to give our
happy
generation
that
a
I'm
name,
here where I'm at.
like our generation. Like all of us would have gone to high school together.
Yeah.
Like we would have been seniors and freshmen at the same time, but we all could have gone to high school together.
Right.
And they tried to give our generation, it was like an 8-year gap, and they tried to name us the golden generation.
Yeah.
And that was, we have memories of a technology-free world.
Yeah.
But then we saw every piece of technology get introduced. But because we saw it get introduced at the right age where we are adaptable,
Yeah.
we've been able to accept all new tech as it's coming along.
You remember those friends though that were like, "Fuck email,"
Yeah.
you know, or "Fuck cell phones."
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Like
We're
no.
all old enough to remember that the internet was just a fad.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do this.
They're like, what is a .com? Hey, why does it say that?
Until people found AOL chat rooms.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, there's wild shit on the internet.
Oh yeah. It's like, what do you mean what was it? ICQ? The ICQ chats?
Oh, yeah.
And you could like send a fucking message to your buddy and it would it would turn his computer off. My friends hated me when I learned that shit. I was like, oh, I'm a hacker. Like, oh shit. I'd just be sitting. I remember there was a website called Kelly's Barroom Chat. And it was an actual bar in like Minnesota or something that had a chat room. And you could go to that bar. People would go to that bar and they would fucking log in and talk to everybody. And we became like a fucking family. Like I talked to these people for years in this fucking Kelly's Barroom Chat. Look it up. Let me see if it's still up, dude. I'm curious.
Well, that's
So
like
what Mikey's
internet
saying is
cafes.
for years, he thought he was hitting on some hot chick in a bar, and it's really some probably mid-30s dude.
It could have been.
Jerking off on the other end.
Who the fuck knows, dude? But we all did that shit. We have no idea.
We,
right?
we,
Like,
we were old enough where we spent money on ourselves to get pussy.
but I remember.
We would buy we'd buy our own shit, and that would get us laid.
Like the interesting thing about this is like because it was like late 90s, early 2000s when I was doing this, right? And then like MySpace and Facebook came out.
Yep.
And we were like, hey, do you have a MySpace? And they'd be like, yeah. And then you would actually get to see what these fucking people look like.
Right.
And I've been talking to them for fucking years. And
Whoa.
All of a sudden,
more often than not, it was, oh, fuck. Like,
like
oh,
how-
what the
I like
fuck?
how MySpace taught everybody to code.
Yeah.
Right.
Like all of a sudden, everybody could write code if you had a MySpace.
You're-
'cause
you're
the only way you could
HTML
change anything
junior.
was that you could just sit there and be like. I was like, what? Why do I know how to do this? Like I.
Yeah. That's a skill I definitely brain dumped.
There was a.
100%.
What did I see the other
When
day?
Facebook and Instagram, when Facebook took off, because at first Facebook was like a college thing,
Yeah.
and if you weren't in college, you didn't really
Yep.
use it.
You needed a .edu to get
Yep.
in, and then after that, it was still an invite. Somebody that was on it had to
Yep.
invite you. But I saw a thing the other day. Like, it made me realize our viewpoints change, right? So like, I see what I think now they call the heritage body F-150.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the F-150 that existed before the current F-150.
That's a
Like
square
the-
body, right?
The box, but no, the one that was real curvy, that
Yeah.
like the original Lightning came out on, and all that kind
gotcha.
of stuff.
Gotcha.
And then they went to the square F-150 that's now that had like the F-250 style windows with the
Right.
the cut down and all that kind of stuff. And so I'll see one and be like, oh, that's a newer F-150, and then it's like, nope, that's an 07, and it's like, fuck me, like that's a 18-year-old truck.
Oh, dude, in my brain, anything that's from 2000 and forward in my brain
Is new.
Is new.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's not that bad. I'm like, oh no, that's fucking 20 years old.
I saw a thing.
I'm like, that's-
5.
So
yeah,
there's a
it's fucking, but it's like, wow, dude. 'cause
there's
I remember-
I saw a meme earlier today that literally said, in 1987, Arnie found Josephine. And it was a 25-year-old car. So it was a 1958 Plymouth Fury.
Yeah.
If that movie existed
Great
today and he found Josephine, it would be a 2001
Plymouth Sunfire.
Plymouth. It was a Plymouth Breeze. it was just like,
I had a 2000
that is not the
Pontiac
same.
Sunfire.
And you thought it was the shit, huh?
Oh, I fucking hated it. I fucking loathe that car. Matter of fact, Gunny Cosby, fuck you, dude. He's the one that talked me into fucking leasing. Like the worst leadership move imaginable for a military
Yeah,
member.
bro, you only keep it for a few years and get rid of
Dude,
it.
like he talked me into
Leasing
leasing
a
a
Sebring?
2000 Pontiac Sunfire, and I was like, "This is a great deal, $400 a month for this." Fuck.
Dude,
Ouch.
I had that new S10 I was telling you about in 1997.
Yeah.
Right? I leased it for $99 a month. That was a good lease.
dude, I remember in
would've been
high
all right,
school
yeah.
having to put fuel in my El Camino. And it was set up to drag. So it was set up for high octane fuel. So I had to run premium in it all the time.
That sucks.
And premium cost me $1.01 a gallon.
Yep.
Those were
I used to be able to.
And it was a 20-gallon tank. So I knew out of my paycheck, I was like, it's gonna take between paychecks, I'm gonna burn 3 tanks of gas in this fucking thing. So I know $63 of my budget is just to keep fuel in my fucking car. And now I filled up my truck at $2.87 a gallon, and it was like less than. Remember when we made the joke that we figured out the numbers on the side of the truck was however much it cost to fill the fucking truck?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like my F-150 was like dead at $150 to fill it.
Yep.
Yours
I
was
at-
$250
yeah.
to fill it, and then yours was fucking.
I have a 48-gallon tank in
Yeah,
mine.
and so
Yeah.
and we were like, so we figured, and I was like, now like I filled it the other day, and it was like $78, and I was like, oh, that's not bad. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I bought that car, when I bought the El Camino, my very first car, gas was 87 cents a gallon.
Oh, I
In
remember.
between my junior senior year, I had 88 Bronco, and gas was 71 cents a gallon. I could fill up my truck for $20.
Wow.
Fucking
Yeah.
A, dude.
I just filled my truck up today. It was 102.
Fucking gas was
That
so
wasn't
cheap
even
when I
all the way-
started
Dude, my
driving
pump-
that I
And
didn't
it still
pay
felt good.
attention.
Yeah.
It was like,
Today-
oh, that's not that bad.
Shit,
Yeah.
Today, my pump was running so slow, I gave up at $101. And I wasn't even half a tank.
Dude, I hate it when you get the slow
Oh, my,
pump.
especially a fucking 48
Do you know why
gallon.
that
One
is?
of
God.
the worst.
Do you know what that comes
Dude.
from? They just
No.
changed the filters.
Oh, really?
If they do a fresh filter change at whatever gas station you just went to, that's what makes it pump
It'll
so
pump slower?
fucking slow because it's
Oh.
the
At least
filters
you're
haven't
getting
the
clean
filters
fuel.
haven't broken in yet, and so the
Yeah,
flow
they
rate
haven't
is
let all
fucking-
the shit go by.
The flow rate.
I think my filter was clogged.
No shit.
Yes, it did.
and yeah,
I
so-
went in and bought something, came back out, and I'm like, fuck, it's at like $40.
So when I was in Nicaragua, we rented a diesel Toyota Hilux, which was awesome.
The
It was
best.
so much fun. And
The
essentially,
absolute
like,
best.
I know we would have had more room and been more comfortable if I got a van.
You bet it was a Hilux.
I wanted to rock a Hilux.
Yep.
And I even told the guys, I'm like, hey, this is for personal stuff, personal reasons that we have this vehicle, not a
Hiluxes
van.
are so
The
good.
only reason I drive a Tacoma is because the closest thing I could get.
And so I put probably 650 kilometers, because that's what it's in,
Yep.
on the vehicle I was there. And I only went through half tank.
If you want to know what that is, go divide by 0.62.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you only drove 40 miles an hour on average.
The fastest I got was I got 120 kilometers, and I was actually following a semi truck who was hauling ass.
So
But
you
other
did,
than that, I
so
would
you
not
did-
go that fast.
so
in
you
that
did
country.
70.
Yeah, right. And it felt like we were doing 110.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, shit, because none of the roads are nice. But so I had to fill up the truck obviously before I went and dropped it off. And like I said, I went through just over a half tank, and it cost me $50 to fill up. And it was,
And it's probably what, a 21-gallon tank?
Hold on, I have no idea.
Probably.
Um,
Yeah.
let
Probably
me do
the
the
same,
math
same tank I have. I assume.
on what it was.
Which is wild because my El Camino had an 18-gallon tank in it.
Um,
Tell you about when I caught the fuckery at a gas station.
I'm not sure.
I was filling up a fucking tank it was an 18-gallon tank, and somehow it took 20 gallons. And I was like, fuck you people.
Yeah.
You're
So
a goddamn liar.
So
Like,
so apparently it was a brand new car that had never had fuel in it. And you
Right.
put it through all the fuel lines
Yeah.
and the filler neck.
and I was
everything.
like, this is fuckery. And I took a picture and I called that number and they refunded me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it came out to $1.21 a liter, right? But there's
That's still $3 a gallon.
Oh, yeah.
3.78 liters in a gallon times $1.21. So it's about $4.60 a gallon for diesel.
Jesus.
I saw a thing the other day that was like what
And it was
costs-
the trash diesel
Oh, yeah.
because they have like different levels.
Yeah, dude, that's JP8.
This was like, hey, this is a rental. I want that cheap one.
Yeah.
I saw a thing the other day that
But
was,
it's a Hilux.
they
That's
were
fine.
like expats living in France.
Yeah.
They were like what it costs to live in France versus the United States. And some of it was like groceries were like in the United States it was, whatever, $200 a week. And then in France it was like $98 a week or whatever. And then they got to things like electric and fuel.
Oh, it's
and it was just like, oh my God.
Yep.
Like
And
we went to the
that
grocery
war in
store.
Ukraine right now is fucking them too.
We went to the grocery
A lot of
store.
their shit
We
comes
got
from the fucking
4
Russia.
1-gallon jugs of water and a fuckload of snacks. Like a fuckload of snacks.
Yeah.
Right. And it was $16.
oh yeah.
Like we checked out and like I paid and I looked at the receipt and I'm like, boys, that was like $16.
There was a
And
video.
everyone collectively was like, that's like 150 in the States.
You guys put up a video. You were eating somewhere and it went to you and you literally just lifted up a bottle and I almost was like, bring some home. Because you picked up a bottle of Tonya and I was like, bring some home.
Every day at lunch.
Bring some home.
Yeah.
You can get Tonya.
It's different.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, here's another thing about the Tonya in Nicaragua. I don't know what fucking coolers they use, but that beer is so goddamn cold. There is nothing cold in that country except for Tonya beer.
So so they don't put it in a walk-in.
It's like
or
a chest-
or a reach-in or whatever. So when I've been there, it's always come out of ice.
These ones, they have these refrigerators of
Oh.
some sort, and like
So it's always come out of ice every time I've ever ordered it. And I know they salt the ice.
it was so cold. Justin opened one,
So it's coming out of a
and
slurry.
it literally turned into a slushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as it has impact, it just
Yep.
immediately, because it's colder than freezing, but it's still, so
Yeah.
it won't form crystals. And then as soon as you touch it, it fucking,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I loved about the DR. You could walk around in the DR and there's bars on the corners and you could walk by and leave $1 and take a beer and just keep walking.
Oh.
And I'm like, yep.
Yep.
Although Africa had bombers of Guinness
Yeah.
and they were $1.
I think the Tony's there. They came out to like a $1.75.
I think this entire conversation illustrates what we do, what our old man shit is,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
we
We care about price.
we reminisce more than anything, I think, and there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, we all have 4+ decades
but
of
we look
looking
fondly,
back at what life was like.
and we look fondly on it, which is great. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of life has fucking sucked, right? But you know, like it's still the fact
I
that
don't-
like we're here.
I disagree with you. Parts of life were hard.
It's a
parts of life
beautiful-
were challenging.
It's a beautiful ride, though.
But what I will say is that everybody in this room has accepted a more challenging life because the rewards we have gotten from a more challenging life we have stories like this.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Yeah.
that's what it's like in this country, or that's what it's like in that country, or
Right.
this person did this, or this is what my race car cost me, or we took a more challenging route
Yeah.
because the rewards were bigger.
Oh, I don't think any of us took it the easy route.
And
I didn't think there was an easy route.
Well, even
and if
now-
it was, I didn't know it.
but even now, like none of us are taking the easy way. It's not like,
yeah.
nope, I clock in, it's my 9 to 5, I pay into my 401k, and I go home, and that's fucking like all of us are trying to do it the fucking hard way, but the rewards are better. Like it's harder, but it's better. And that is probably an old man trait where it's like, well, you kids these days just have it too easy. Not really. I don't think it's ever really changed. There's always been the easy route versus
Well,
the hard route.
I think the older you get, the more you realize patience can pay off.
Oh, for sure.
You know, when I was young, I had no patience.
There's a difference between knowledge and
Yeah,
wisdom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a huge difference between knowledge and wisdom.
The older you get, time is longer too.
Yeah. Well,
Like when you're young, like when I was young, 40 seemed forever away.
Yeah.
40 was an old man.
God.
And now I'm 40 and I'm like, I don't really feel any different. Like
Yeah.
I'll go,
Mentally.
I'll do it all again.
Oh,
It,
dude,
like,
mornings
in
I
my
feel
brain, I'm
different.
25, dude. In my brain, I'm 25. You know,
Really?
like-
in all of our brains, we're
Oh,
about
shit.
17.
Yeah, I was
In
gonna
my-
say, that's where I'm at.
Fucking-
Mikey, in my brain, you're 25 too.
Thanks. Thanks. That's what I'm going for, man. It's my youthful look.
That's why I like to hang out.
You know what though? I saw a quote yesterday actually that fucking really hit me, and it's a weird thing to think about, but
You got that ARP letter, didn't you?
out of all of our fucking group, our group of friends, one of us will be at every one of our
saw
funerals,
that.
Saw that, yeah.
and one of us,
We'll be at none of
nobody,
them.
Yep.
will be at our funeral.
Yep.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, dude, that's real.
Yeah.
I mean, my money's on me to go first.
No.
Ooh. I
Yeah.
don't know, sir.
This isn't a race, boys.
It's not a
okay?
race. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going skydiving tomorrow. Like,
I only need to outlive Michelle. That's my only goal in life.
not me. I want to fucking die way before Haley. I can't handle.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to handle my wife dying.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys.
No, if she goes first, I give
I'm
myself
fucked.
a year.
Yeah, I'm fucked. I give up.
It's
if
a year.
Haley goes, I'm giving up. I'm done.
It's like I lost.
Yep.
I lost my grandfather first, and Pris is obviously, and that was years ago. But and Pris is doing great. If Pris had gone first, 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months he'd have been gone. Leukemia or not, he could have been.
Yeah.
He could have been a outstanding bill of health. It'd have been 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was the only reason he existed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
where I'm at. Like
and,
fucking
I mean, it was all for
Haley
her.
goes. Fuck. See you boys.
It was all for her. From
like
pre-college through his deathbed. It was all done for Pris.
Yeah.
All of it. And yeah, it'd have been the same way. I think that's also part of the old man trait is you start looking.
Well,
you're-
you accept mortality.
No,
Oh, it's
no,
opposite for me.
your examples that
Yeah.
you look at suddenly aren't that high speed fucker that's out there doing this, that, and the other. You start looking at guys like my grandfather or Steve or these guys that are in their 70s, in their 80s, and they have an amazing life and stuff. And you're like, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's gold.
Like, ooh,
It's not-
I
it's
should
not
have
the-
treated myself better when I was in
Yeah.
my 30s.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
It's gonna catch
20s,
up.
it's the guy with the sexy car and the big titted bitch and all that kind of stuff. And then you start getting older and older, and you're like,
What happened to that guy? Oh, he died of
But
coke.
so
yeah,
like the guys that are like Steve that are in their 70s and living it, right? I don't think that they realized in their 30s and 40s. I think they were just doing like what we're doing right now, and they're at that place.
Yeah.
Like everybody's body's different, so your body
Yeah.
can take something a mine can, or vice versa, whatever. But I don't think there's like a time where you're just like, oh, I really need to focus on like 40 years from now and make sure that like I'm doing things now that my body can do then.
My foresight is I need to do things now for 3 years from now.
I know, right? But like,
Dude, I say it all the time. My mom died at 48, my dad at 47.
Yeah.
I'm
set a
40.
record.
I'm
Yeah.
43, dude. If I beat them, I win.
Yeah.
Like shit, dude.
But I
Like,
think a lot of it is, I mean, like Steve's whole mindset is he's just never quite, every birthday hasn't ever pushed him forward. It's always just been like,
okay,
I'm living life
Yeah.
right now.
yeah,
And you obviously be responsible, put retirement away, like
Yeah.
have all that kind of stuff, like be responsible with it. But he's not talking about 10 years from now. He's talking about, life right now. Like the last time I just smoked a cigar with him a couple days ago, and he was like, well, booked my trip for Montana.
yeah.
My wife and I are going to Montana. She's going to the spa, but she booked it where there's a guide there that's taking us all fly fishing for 3 days, and he guarantees we hit bag every day. And
fuck
da-da-da-da-da-da.
dude.
And the dude's 76.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's
Dude,
not a.
I hope I'm that cool when I'm pushing you.
Mhm.
But he
Like,
doesn't
fuck.
preface anything like if my health.
be fair, I'll
allows,
never be
if that and the
no,
other.
Steve.
It's just
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Me
fucking do it.
neither. Like,
That's
I'll
it.
never
Of
be.
course, I
as
think
cool as
Steve's
Steve,
mentality
dude.
on it is like if I die fly fishing,
Yeah, it was
I
a good
fucking
day.
died fly fishing.
know?
Like I don't.
I do want to shout out the airborne community lost a guy this
Oh,
weekend.
Yeah, I was in Nicaragua when we were
Yeah.
getting that news,
And I texted Justin. I told him about it. Tommy, our pilot down at RCPT.
Really?
Yeah. In a plane crash.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Now, obviously, there's a big investigation. The FAA is involved, things like that. So we don't know.
Was he flying Motley Crue's plane?
He was not.
Oh.
he was on his way. He was picking up a skydive plane to fucking to fly back to Palaca.
Wow.
And on his way back, they said that they were watching him on radar because they were actually waiting on him. Art and them were waiting on him to go to dinner.
Oh fuck.
So they were watching him. They were tracking it, and then all of a sudden it fucking went boop. It took a right turn and disappeared off radar.
Yeah.
And speculation, and this is just speculation, but is that he had a heart attack, and it was
Just hard sticked over.
but it was over a rural area that had population and shit, and he steered it towards an area with no population.
Huh.
Right. So in his last
He
ditch
was
effort,
still-
he was like, I'm not going to hit anybody, type of thing,
Yeah.
and put it down in a field and passed away.
Well, that's too bad.
And Art and them actually drove out there. They were like, that's fucking weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
So they got in the truck and fucking went out there, and they were waiting on first
Fuck.
responders,
Oh, man.
which made me think of a joke, and it's like, why do you call them first responders? Nobody else is coming. Like, fuck. But
Well, in this case, they were second responders.
they fucking were, right? Like, but RIP to a fucking legend, man. An absolute shit show of a person that I've drank many a fucking beers with and hung out with.
That was the only time where I was
You've jumped out of his plane.
Happy.
Justin's jumped out of his plane.
I was extremely happy.
Justin went on a fucking ride with him one time.
Yeah, Justin did a loop in a Cessna.
Like, I was a fucking acrobatic master, like an absolute G.
I didn't know we were doing a backflip.
Oh,
we were doing a backflip.
Oh, he was the first time I jumped. The first time he looked at me and goes, "Sure wish I didn't drink all that cough syrup and booze before this flight." I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Justin, were you at least strapped in?
no,
Sure wasn't.
no.
I think
So
I think I heard the story and it was, hey, hold on back there.
yeah,
He's in a Cessna skydiving plane. There's not belts in that.
That's
thing,
why
man.
I asked.
I went up with my camera and a GoPro, and all the skydivers jumped out, and I was just like, sat back, and he closed the door, and he just turned and looked over his shoulder and went, "You better hold on to something," and just fucking yanked that bitch back.
I used to have, when I was jump mastering guys out of his fucking plane, I used to have to turn my AED off on my parachute because he'd go down so fucking fast, it would fire my fucking reserve. So you have to turn your fucking AED off, man. It's like, so if I jump out the plane, it's straight to reserve.
So that,
It's
one of the things
that
Tommy would
drink
do.
joke he pulled on Caitlin
Oh yeah.
when Caitlin went down there and
Yes.
flew with him, and he did the whole like, yeah, the drunk from last night still hasn't worn off, and then just started like, and she was like, "Oh Jesus!"
Oh, because I put her in the fun.
Yeah.
I was like, no, go for a ride with Tommy. It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
One of the things he would
That's
do
right.
too is after the last guy was out the door, he'd kill the engines
Yeah.
and he wouldn't turn it back on.
The engine.
Or he'd kill the engine. He wouldn't turn it back on, and he just fucking all the way into a landing.
And he would land on he would always land on one wheel because that wheel was easier to change than the other one. That tire was easier to change. I'm talking about a fucking G behind the pilot stick, man. Like, so RIP to an absolute fucking legend, man. Tommy, fucking fly high, buddy, blue skies.
One more quick thing, because you brought it up about planes and stuff. There's been a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
A lot, like more than should be lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. I fly in 3 days.
Dude,
I know.
I'm
And I was
terrified.
just flying.
I got to go to a
and I
wedding
got-
in Savannah.
We're flying
next
next
month.
week, and then
I'm like,
yeah,
ugh.
right. So, like, I don't know if you guys just saw the one in Canada, that, like rolled over,
The fucking upside down
but
Delta
everybody lived. Like,
Yeah.
but
Well, 'cause
Jesus Christ,
It didn't crash that way. He just rolled the plane. I don't know how you do that.
I don't know how that happened
flight.
either.
Like,
Somebody tell that guy you can't kick flip an airplane.
it's like fuck you, Sully. Hold
Hey,
my beer.
I know how you can do that because I've done it on Flight Simulator. It can be done.
So my point to all of that is like, is it socially acceptable to clap when we land now? Can we actually be excited about that now?
We need to start a new trend.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do we still make fun of those? I don't want to make fun of those people anymore.
I
Because
know,
like
man.
when we landed like in San Antonio, I was just like,
John, when we land in DC, we're totally high fiving.
let's just start
I think-
a
I
slow
think-
clap.
no,
you know what I mean?
I think we sit across the aisle from each other, so we're just gonna high five.
Yes.
We need to just look out the window and just go like, "Is that a helicopter?"
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up.
I'll
You
end it
guys
with
gotta
this: water's not wet.
I agree with that. Yeah, my day's starting right now. All right, boys. Thanks for fucking tuning into our shit show. As always, I'm gonna raise my glass, boys. Cheers. Thanks for being my freedom friend. Always a good time.
This has been a fun one.
It always is a fun one. When we get the band back together, it's always
Yeah,
fun, dude.
right?
And a bottle of Macallan.
And fucking again, shout out to Lavely, motherfucker.
Delicious.
Like, share, subscribe, guys. Smash those buttons, do those things. Support the Patreon, please. That's how we bring you this mediocre bullshit. This doesn't come out of a vacuum. All this shit costs money, and none of us are getting paid. So, yeah.
Fucking, I'll go one step further. If you work for or have access to a company that wants to sponsor a shitty podcast,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
fucking let us know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, we can fucking work something out. We're fucking cheap.
Yeah, it won't cost you that much.
I mean, John's so cheap he uses his girlfriend's hair products. Like
And that is not.
it's so good, dude.
Yeah, but it's so expensive.
I stopped by.
I almost went that little bottle of oil. It's like
It's-
this big. It's $50.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
So
Bananas.
Fuck this beard oil
I
shit.
I turned it all over to my wife and was like, "You can just buy like my skin and hair care products." And then she brought it back and was like, "Oh, cool." And it was like But now
You
I
know
look
what?
like an apothecary.
Your-
I've got like 8
Your
bajillion
locks
things.
look fucking glorious, though, pal.
Yeah,
Look
except for
at
then we
those.
went to the store she bought all my shit from, and I was like, son of a whore. Like,
Yeah.
can we go back to the
It's
shit that's the body, hair,
I'll go back to buy
face,
my shit at
wash
HEB.
Like,
God
bro, I buy
damn.
Suave. What the fuck is this? Yeah.
Shit's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, guys. Fucking 3 little things. They're pretty easy. Justin.
Smoke on.
Oh, Jazz.
Drink on.
And God damn it, kids. Freedom to fuck on. Later.